Good afternoon, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live again on Patreon. And boy, you guys are getting disclosures like never before. And I certainly hope that this is something that you can appreciate. And I know that what I'm about to share with you is going to be completely out of this world. It's going to be very difficult for many of you to believe what I'm about to speak to you about. And I've brought some different imagery from the internet to try to be able to just as an idea. But when you see these things, keep in mind what you're about to hear is nothing beautiful. It is the most demonic things happening on this planet that you could ever imagine. I told you a little bit earlier about the secret military base at Dulcie, New Mexico. And I'm going to tell you now about things that go on at that secret base in Dulcie, New Mexico. So, I just want you to kind of bear with me and just kind of just hear the information out. At the base there, the government is extremely advanced in the area of biology, especially near the plateau of Dulcie, New Mexico. We have CIA, we have Air Force contractors, and aliens have been collaborating on how to create and merge life forms for the last 25 years. In the 80s, they would actually mix humans with animals and actually incubate them inside of cows. They would incubate later. They would use large aquarium tanks, similar to what you see here in these pictures right here. And, I'm sure there's been other movies you've seen as well where you see that. But the tanks are filled with a bioengineered fluid, and it's an amber colored fluid that is inside those tanks. And of course, they've engineered all types of things. They've merged, including half human, half horse, which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's called a centaur. And you may know that people or hear people saying they have encountered creatures that have gold or yellow glowing eyes. This is because they were incubated in this amber fluid. Now, if you recall from the video earlier that I shared, let me see if I can pull that back up on YouTube. I don't know if my history will show that or not. Gosh, quite frankly, how do I even work my history, right? Here we go, right there. There we go. And that's my own video, sorry. Well, it's okay, though. It's where this part of the video, the park ranger talks about those yellow eyes that were looking at him, right? That lets me know whether or not the creature has been created in the last 25 years or whether or not these creatures were created by extraterrestrial entities years ago. Don't really know. That's why I say Daniel chapter 7 says that it was a dragon-like bear. Was Daniel talking about that type of creature? I mean, I don't know. Something to think about. On the 4th and 5th floors at Dulcie, New Mexico, is devoted mostly to the paranormal abilities and dreams. The goal there is to control and kill people through dreams, and they are successful. On the 6th and 7th floor of that base, it's off limits to most everyone. So what really goes on there? Not many people would ever know. I do know some of the things that go on those floors there, though. There's no oversight there. And those people that I know that know the ones that work there said that it would be similar to the movie Hellraiser. They have the ability to grow appendages like ears on mice or noses on a human's forehead. In the medical field, in the origins, mostly scary things is what they do there. They have taken, and this is no joke, they have taken humans, a woman and a man, cut them in half, and they've brought them back together again and made it half woman, half man. It's appalling. And when they do that, the other one too, like I had the picture up here for you, they've also taken and they've made half human, half dolphin. And I highly doubt they look eloquent like you see in the picture what you have here. The genetics in the biology are no longer human or sane. It's more like a Frankenstein and horror picture. They keep most of their creation in cages on the 7th floor, but sometimes they do let them out to observe, to see how they're going to interface with the unknown citizens that happen to be on that floor at that time. This is done to meet the needs of the aliens, to supposedly survive our certain viruses and illnesses and bacteria, which in turn, the technology seems to be more logical that our race and DNA is being evaluated for areas of weakness and ability to change and to manipulate is what it seems like what they really do on that floor. But allegedly, the aliens are doing this to see what types of bacteria they can survive or we can survive. And by the way, this is also too at Dulcie is where they created the super soldier technology, and that was through DNA manipulation. And the super soldier, by the way, is the mixing of gorilla, mostly gorilla, and human. When I hear people, and this is what's kind of funny, when I've heard a lot of people talk about super soldiers and they have their super soldier come on their program and they come on and it's just like a regular person, and then they're talking about, oh, I was used as a super soldier because of my blood type or this or that and everything. I'm really kind of baffled by those types of stories, because to me that's not what a real super soldier is. Generally, you have someone in the military that volunteers to go into that program, and what it is, they volunteer because they're willing. They want to be superhuman, but they don't know what they're really getting themselves into. And that's the type of things they do. The only other thing that's ever moved me so dramatically in my life was when I listened to a former nun named Charlotte. Back in the 50s, it came out of a cloistered convent, escaped it after being in there, I forget, some 30 years or something like that, maybe 40 years. I forget how long she'd been in. And she described about how that they lived in the caves underneath different Catholic churches. I think initially she was in Europe, and later she was moved to America, or she escaped, came to America, got captured again, and then eventually died. She did give her testimony, though. And it was the most horrific thing I ever heard of what they do to human beings in a cloistered convent. But when you're made aware of the sinister things that happen at the secret base in Dulcie, New Mexico, it is absolutely mind-blowing. But I am trying to disclose as much information as I can for you. I do ask that this video is not copied or made public outside of where we're at here now. I eventually probably will allow this to go public, more public than what it is already. But I would like to make that decision myself. Because like I said, you're hearing things probably for the first time you've never even heard before. And I'm sure that there's others that have whistleblowers that have disclosed things that go on, but I don't know if they've given you this much detail about the Dulcie base there. And I will be sharing more. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but I will try to share more with you as I can. Anyway, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. And, you know, I guess, too, let me just say this before closing. I have a feeling that Satan has been busy with these fallen angels creating their army. I mean, I already know about the robots that we have that are so technically advanced, it's not even funny. A lot of things, and I think I've shared some of this stuff with you guys before, but I've never shared with you these biological entities that they've created. Anyway, Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live. I hope you have a blessed evening in a very strange world we live in. Good afternoon.